is your album coming out, and it's all covers, and you also produced it yourself. So, how does the process go working for yourself compared to past albums when you were kind of working for other people and had other people's agenda kind of on your music?
I feel like I've always had a lot of freedom. I worked with Keith Stegall on my first album, and he's so artist friendly and really let me choose the songs and be a part of the process of narrowing down the album, depending on who liked it at the label and things like that. So I've always had an artistic freedom. I feel like for this album, it was really just one of those things of going back and picking the best songs that I loved growing up listening to, whether they were number one records or whether they were more obscure songs like the Bruce Cockburn song. One Day I Walk is really obscure, but The Sweetest Thing is one of the songs I heard when I was a teenager and just really wanted to record and remake it. I knew I would remake it at some point because I loved it so much. So I just really wanted to pick songs that I think would keep the history of country music, hopefully introduce it to some new ears and new fans and people who haven't heard it before.
That actually leads right into my next question. Today's country music is pretty different from what I grew up listening to and you grew up listening to. Do you think that doing things like this will hopefully revive it and remind current fans of where the genre they fell in love with came from? Do you think that's important?
I think it's very important, and I think it's something. I don't know if my album will do that. I hope it reaches new fans, and I hope it. The fans that know the music love my version of the songs. That are familiar with it. Like when you go to the Grand Ole Opry and you hear, some of your favorite artists, or maybe new versions of an old song. That's kind of what I wanted to do. Just kind of pay, homage to those artists that the whole reason I started singing country music. But I do feel like the way country music is letting new sounds of music in is a good thing. I think the lines are more blurred, and I think you can do basically whatever you want instead of only one style. So I think that's a good thing. Any kind of expansion is a good thing.
So you started your own label. So what's it like to see young artists and new artists going through and experiencing some of the things that you remember going through? And are you able to offer them a little bit different perspective, you think, than if they were to go somewhere else?
Well, that's why Emmy Wade is here today because we're showing her around CRS, and I'm kind of showing her and telling her, because she's a singer-songwriter, this is what it's about, meeting the people, remembering the PDs that started you off in the first place and played your record, which is like a gift every time they do it, and the interview process, talking about yourself all day long and trying to be fresh at telling the story and telling the, things about yourself over and over again is kind of what it's about, and doing it in 15 minutes basically is all you have. So I mean, yeah, I think for me, I love helping younger artists. I think that the young talent that we have it's amazing, and it's great to be there for people and to mentor people and help them through that process because they're just learning and figuring out what it's about, and if they really want to make a career of this.
And I'm sure you offer unique perspective because you've been there as opposed to other labels where they're just executives trying to lead them through. You've actually walked the walk. So
Right, yeah, that's true. Well, I can definitely share the ups and downs and things like that. And there's so many great things to say about major labels and what they can do and when they get behind you and that powerful machine that's in place. And there's also a lot that you can do as an independent artist. If you really want to work and you're really hungry for it and you really want it, that's the main thing.
So what is your absolute favorite song on Eternal, and tell us why you chose it?
Oh, that's kind of hard to choose. My gosh. It kind of changes. You know how women, we get to change our mind every week? So I feel like for me, one of the deeper songs that I love is One Day I Walk because it's kind of about the path that we're on, but to get home, to the eternal home, I guess. But it's also about like being homeless and being the ups and downs and the what you go through on your journey. So that song really spoke to me, and it's a little bit bluegrassy, which is different for me, and I really wanted to take on the challenge. And then the other one would have to be my snoring song, Wide Awake, because I get so many fans love that song and ask me to play it and say, where can I get it? And now they can finally get it.